And this isn't James Charles' first rodeo. This isn't his first go around with this. Okay, once, you know what, a normal person kind of like learns from their mistakes, I guess. This is a sick individual. James Charles is a sick in the head individual.
James Charles has recently been exposed for doing illegal things, and as a result, he's getting dropped by huge sponsors like Morphe, as well as getting his YouTube channel demonetized. And today I wanted to talk about some of the influencers that tried to warn us about James Charles, but sadly we did not listen. I'm Mackenzie. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and let's get into it. In at number 10, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is one of the people we know orchestrated the bi-sister scandal to call out James on his power-hungry behavior. He was also the first person that supported Tati's claims before other big influencers stepped in as well. Hours after Tati released bi-sister, Jeffree tweeted that James was banned from his home and is, quote, a danger to society, adding that his boyfriend Nate felt uncomfortable around James. After some backlash, Jeffree walked back his claims temporarily, but provided evidence of a voice memo from a James Charles a year later on the Mom's Basement podcast. YouTuber Blair White also came forward on her channel saying that she heard the voice memo and believes the accuser, who's actually a big YouTuber. And I mean, it really doesn't seem like Jeffree was lying about his claims after all. However, I definitely don't think he should have shared that voice memo with anybody. And at number 9, Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas is probably the influencer that has been the loudest in her disdain for James Charles. Before many of the allegations against him even came out, one of the biggest feuds between Trisha and James happened while Trisha was feuding with Charli D'Amelio, following her entitled comment about not getting 100 million followers yet. In defense of Charli, James tweeted out that people should be less harsh on Charli, then taking a dig at Trisha by saying, quote, 30-plus-year-olds dragging someone half their age feels familiar. Trisha clapped back savagely, writing, quote, poor parenting on your parents and James for allowing you to be friends with Tati, a middle-aged woman while you were a teen. Unfortunately, you were the victim then, but now Charli is. You being friends with her is Trisha then followed up with another tweet slamming James, saying, quote, definitely have always said no one deserves to be cancelled. Everyone has room for growth/positive influence. Except James Charles. Please cancel him. He's a forever victim with a superiority complex. He's never said sorry his whole life and hangs out with an underage girl regularly. And even though Trisha got a lot of heat for those comments at the time, she turned out to be right. In at number 8, Ethan and Hila Klein. Ethan and Hila got into a heated feud with James Charles after they accused him of stealing their color block merch from their clothing line Teddy Fresh. In response to James's announcement, Ethan tweeted out, quote, I know we didn't invent color blocking, but I'm having a hard time with the new James Charles merch. It's the same exact design as Hila's. Combined with the fact that his audience is so huge, many people will assume he designed it and start accusing us of plagiarism. What do you think? James responded back saying the two had DM'd, and James claimed that he didn't know of their designs. Ethan continued to speak out about the similarities on Twitter, share text messages sent by James, and compare the situation to Charles accusing makeup brand Wet n Wild of copying his eyeshadow palette. James didn't respond any further and ended up going forward with the launch anyways. In at number 7, Tati Westbrook. Y'all already know that Tati had to be on this list because she was the first person who had the courage to go up against James and his massive audience. She uploaded the infamous bi-sister cancellation video in May of 2019. And in the 40-minute video, she explained why James is shady, two-faced, and has no loyalty to his friends. This was because James promoted her competitor, Sugar Bear Hair. She also made serious claims about Charles, alleging that he leveraged his fame to manipulate boys into being with him romantically. James denied these claims and Tati ended up deleting her video. As a result of the allegations, James lost a record 3 million YouTube subscribers at the time. However, he later uploaded a video with more proof than Tati provided, and he was able to win everybody back, until he was recently exposed again. Tati hasn't spoken out on the situation since, but I honestly have a feeling that she will very soon. In at number 6, Zara Larsson. Zara Larsson is another celebrity that jumped on the bandwagon against James Charles after the bi-sister video was uploaded. Apparently, James had actually DM'd her boyfriend before. She tweeted out saying, quote, I'm cackling because he hit up my boyfriend in the DMs several times, knowing damn well he's straight. However, after the tweet went incredibly viral, Larsson confirmed that it was actually only one DM along with multiple comments on Instagram. James actually responded to her call out in his response video called No More Lies, where she appeared to be in the wrong. Later on, she decided to address the situation in a long thread where she apologized, but she also somewhat stood by her decision to call him out, writing in part, quote, what seems to be the thing here is that my boyfriend wasn't the only one, and that's why I don't condone this behavior. You have, for example, previously tweeted saying that straight men will be the death of you, etc., which is concerning considering the fact that they will never give consent since they don't play for Team D. Halfway at number 5, Jeff Wittick. Even though Jeff is straight, that didn't stop James Charles from flirting with him. James made multiple videos with Jeff and the Vlog Squad, and in the videos it's clear that James is flirting with Jeff. He even named one video they did together, quote, "The truth, my crush does my makeup." And although in the video it's clear that they're just, joking around a lot of the time, it's hard to tell if Jeff actually ever felt uncomfortable because of James. After James's cancellation, Jeff actually defended James on a podcast, telling the world that he never felt uncomfortable around James. But a lot of people didn't buy it and think that could be the reason that James and the Vlog Squad were never really close after the flirty videos came out. In at number 4, Marlena Stell. Marlena Stell is an OG member of the beauty community on YouTube and helped make it what it is today. However, James showed that he has no respect for others in his community when he came for her. The feud between them started when Marlena tweeted out that she was going to be working on a documentary with Netflix about the beauty community. James responded to the announcement in a tweet saying, quote, "Wait, what?" saying how he was planning to make a documentary on the beauty community and he was livid. Adding, quote, "Everything that I put my heart and love and a ton of work into is always stolen by someone." Marlena responded that she was approached by Netflix and said it would be great to hear from an influencer for her documentary. James, however, didn't accept her response and the feud continued for hours. In at number 3, Gage Gomez. Gage Gomez was the first influencer to call James out for his behavior towards men. After James took Gage to Coachella, Gage uploaded a video to YouTube talking about his experience, in which he claims he was manipulated by James from January up until Coachella. Throughout the video, Gomez claims that James pressured him to hang out and tried to manipulate him, saying, quote, "James saw this as an opportunity to manipulate me as a person who may or may not have been trying to figure things out about their preferences, after the fact that I told him I was straight multiple times." James responded that Gage never told him that he was straight and that Gage was just clout chasing. And at number 2, Stephen Harrison. Stephen Harrison shared some DMs he got from James Charles while James was in the midst of his bi-sister scandal. Stephen, who posts screenshots of people who hit on him all the time, shared the details on Instagram. Basically, James DM'd him pretty bluntly, saying, quote, "You're so hot." Stephen responded back saying, "My wife's so hot." James then responded back that he could have just accepted the compliment. Then Stephen replied that he finds it more of a compliment when people say nice things about his marriage. When sharing the screenshots online, Stephen said, quote, "Don't ever feel you should accept a compliment, even if it's by a dude with 16 million followers." And finally, at number 1, Tana Mojo. Tana Mojo used to be really good friends with James, but then all of a sudden it stopped, and no one was really sure why. However, after Gage's Coachella feud with James, Tana and Gage actually became really close, with Tana seemingly taking Gage's side in things. Tana tweeted out years later claiming that she was actually manipulated by James. This started when Tana responded to a tweet referencing that she had took James' side publicly at first, but Tana set the record straight, tweeting out, quote, "100% manipulated and begged to tweet that. I was defending someone that was my friend at the time and I believed them. Sad to see. Later reconciled with Gage and discussed it, apologized, heard his side of the story, and now I call him one of my closest friends." Things change. So that's all for the list, guys. Now let me know your thoughts below and let me know if there's anyone that I missed that could be in a part 2. Before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from my video on TikTokers who should be in jail. Mama Pink said, "Wow, I never thought I'd be excited that I was early, but wow, I'm feeling pretty cool right now." I'm comment 23. Thank you so much. We love the enthusiasm around early commenters around here. Then Daniel Claus said, "I've considered having a TikTok account because I know that my sister has one and is doing okay. But when I hear stories like this, I get second thoughts about it." I think it's honestly a really fun app. I upload there all the time and, scroll literally for hours and hours. It's a great app. Honestly, I highly recommend it. It is a little sketchy, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Then someone else said, "God knows what day of trying to get featured." Well, here it is. Thank you so much for that comment. Alright guys, that's all for the video today. Thank you so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here. If you liked the video and want to see some more, make sure to like and sub to our channel below. Also, make sure to follow us on social media. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and I will catch you all in the next one.